So then you can just turn off Discord so it doesn't play, but you can still talk. So.
Mr. Blue, I told you that I love you. Please believe me. Mr. Blue, I'll have to go now, darling. Don't be angry.
On a road less traveled, the harder lessons are added. Don't expect it to matter when love's swinging that gavel. It's a mood till the sun replaces the moon, and you ain't sleeping a week, and your soul breaks into two. Mr. Blue, Mr. Falling Apart, put them pieces back together, Mr. Hole in my heart. I bought you roses in the car like I don't know who you are. You rather pluck out every feather without leaving a scar. I know it all seems foolish, but still I'm there to pursue it. Pick a side and we moving, just give me time to get through it. Believing is half the way, just lead me from out the rain and cloud in the sky, but we don't see it the same. If life a game, then I'm out of luck. Feels like
It is
I'm out
very,
of way,
very great.
maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe the night is young, or maybe the time is up. It's all that I gotta say. I know that it's not enough, Mr. Blue.
Mr. Blue, I told you that I love you. Please believe me. Mr. Blue, I have to go now, darling. Don't be angry.
Yeah, and I ain't mad at you, baby, I ain't mad at all. When life give you the horns, don't blame the bull, you blame the matador, that's the game. You see that look will fade away, I'm saying that's the day. She packing things and make a break, and maybe that's the play. Go test your wings if you ain't tired of the win. Most people die before they live, that's how the die gonna spin. It's in your mind, just give it time and you'll be smiling again. But we get guarded by the end, I guess it's hard to pretend. I bear the cross for all the lines that I crossed, forever causing you pain, or that's the time that I caused. I still remember you were brave, and that time I was lost. And I would look at you the same if you decided to walk. Cause if it happened, then it happened. If I fall, then I said it all. A signal goes static and the memory's dead and gone. A cowboy's letter, just remember to send it all, to bring you back home once more. Sincerely yours, Mr. Blue.
Mr. Blue, I told you that I love you. Please believe me. Mr. Blue, I have to go now, darling. Don't be angry.
I've been feeling all the pressure. I've been looking for a sign. I don't love you any less. I just need a little time. I'm sorry, but for real, don't wanna be tied up. Don't wanna feel too much. There's things I wanna do. Oh no, don't. I've been waiting for a lifetime. I don't wanna miss a chance. All my visions coming to life, and you know I got bigger plans. I'm sorry, but for real, don't wanna be tied up. Don't wanna feel too much. There's things I wanna do. Oh no, don't. Ooh, ooh, don't you
So
hold me,
28,
hold me
27.
down, slow me down. Ooh, don't you hold me now, slow me down.
of that. Hold
Here.
on. Oh. I don't even have my own camera up.
Wow, imagine that. What a great dude you are. Hi guys. Thank you, Waffles,
Hold
for
on, what?
subbing for 4 months. Hi, Dino.
I'm trying to. Where's my.
Hi. I'm here by myself. Billy will be here momentarily. I'm all alone. There's no one here
Yes.
beside me. My Billy has all gone. And now I do the podcast. I'm lonely.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
There you are.
Hold
Big,
on.
so big. You can go to the bottom
Jeez.
left. You can go to the bottom left. I think you can fit there.
Hold on. Transform.
Hey, Manic. What up, Waffles? Billy broke his own screen. It's okay. Wow, Billy. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. Oh man,
He's
this is.
just running around the clock, guys. What time is it now? 12 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
All I had to do is. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, what the hell? Welcome in, everyone. Little technical difficulties starting. Go ahead and quiet down the music. Welcome in, guys. This is episode 8 of I Got Your 6 podcast, hosted by yours truly, Billy Badass, with the special guest that everyone adores and knows, Nurse Jackie. Tonight's episode is on addiction. All different kinds of how to talk about it, how to learn about it, and how to help others that are fighting through it.
A lot of education's going to go into your ears today, my friends.
So, a lot of people think when you talk about addiction, it's a bad thing, or you look down upon people that are addicted to things, but they don't realize what brings someone to addiction, what causes it, what triggers it, why they use it, and not realize it's a coping mechanism of a sort. And it gets to the point where it can be over controlling, or to the point where intervention, therapy, or meetings and medical treatment it takes to come from it. So very
And on top
exciting.
of that, too.
Oh,
On top of that, too, though, there's always that end game that people do not like, and we don't like to see about addiction is, life ending.
yeah. Because addiction is not always about drugs. It could be amongst other things. It could
100%.
be porn. It could be type of food. It could be like there's shows that are out there where people are addicted to a lot of things, and a lot of people see it as weird, but it's just a thing that someone found that they got addicted to. And sometimes people think it's funny, sometimes people think it's bad, and a lot of times people judge that person or persons that do it. So crazy to believe, like me, I have been addicted to like a lot of things in life, like sushi, nicotine, because I used to dip for a very long time. I'm a vapor, aka smoker. Then there's levels of addiction where it gets to the point where it's over controlling, where if you don't have it within a grace period, it starts to really affect your well-being and your everyday life. And it can be to the point where it's unhealthy, where it affects your personal life, your family, your friends, your significant others. And that's not always good or healthy, but that's how you're still here. So, and that's why we're here today to talk about it, talk about different aspects and angles of it, and to get the voice out where if you're fighting through addiction, there are things and people and groups and websites out there that are here to help. So, welcome in, guys. Coming in hot. A little technical difficulties at the beginnings. I thought I had it set up, but I didn't. I had all this time to do so after Nurse Jackie's nap.
Yep.
So, but we're here. But it's going to be on, if you're not here to watch this episode, it will be on the YouTube channel tonight. So the beginning parts after 5 minutes of warming up is going to be, I was upside down.
You were
Life's
drowning in the crock.
life's been upside down, but we're here. Welcome in, guys. So we'll go ahead and let Nurse Jackie go ahead and start the reins here, and we'll talk about addiction.
Yeah, well, a lot of you all in chat probably already know, but Nurse Jackie here, mental health and addictions nurse, about 7-ish years, somewhere in there, and nurse for about 8.5-ish, 9. Um, I would love to keep it light and fluffy, but it pretty much is going to dig into specifically at the very beginning of this, um, kind of the brain composition in like majority drug addictions. And this does mimic not only drug addiction, you know, pills and so on, but it does do it for the other aspects of addiction, nicotine, um, and foods, habits that are out there that people do experience. Um, there is a model that a lot of people you hear a lot. Well, why can't you just quit? Why can't you just choose your kids over it? Why can't you just choose me over that? It's as simple as not doing it. And a person who is addicted really, um, it hurts them more to hear it because they know that, but their brain composition over time, in early stages of their addiction, through what they call like the testing phases or your binging or your first parts of intoxication, um, there is kind of a choosing window of addiction. Um, and after that choosing window kind of gets closed, there is the brain composition that changes. So, there's three types. There's a three cycle or three stage model for addiction: binge, intoxication, withdrawals, the negative effects, and your preoccupation or your anticipation. Like I'd said, like the binge intoxication is where you're using some form of intoxicating substance, whether it is nicotine, opioids, meth, cocaine, anything of that matter, anything on that spectrum, fentanyl. Everybody knows how scary that one is. And you're using that substance to experience the rewarding of the pleasure effect. Um, Everybody knows the dopamine that's in our brain. That definitely is our reward circuit. And the drugs that we use, they overstimulate it. And that creates the euphoric pleasure or the high. While you're in that first stage of it, you definitely are experiencing the positive parts of it. Your first, second, eighth time doing it, whatever it may be, you're stimulating the good parts of your brain. And your brain starts to, over time, use it for temporary relief of discomfort. And when you get to that part where you're using that substance to feel better, you're kind of transitioning into the second phase of it, which is you have the withdrawal and the negative effects. And that's not necessarily just physical, that's also mental as well. And then you Excuse me. I just had ice cream before podcast. It was a good dinner. Um, then when you're in that second phase or stage where you have to use that substance to feel and to stay feeling normal, that is kind of like in the medical field. That is kind of the gray area to possibly when people are getting the diagnosis part of that addiction, where your brain is now what used to be the normal level of dopamine in your brain before substances to be filled. Having that substance creates a higher threshold for you to be filled with that dopamine and all of the other hormones that are going through your body. And then your substance now has to feed more to get better, to feel normal. Um, and what the tough part about it is it isn't at that point, it isn't just not doing it. If you have someone they are addicted to pain pills, any sort of opioid in general, a lot of people have negative risks to strokes, seizures, um, death type levels of risks. And being without them and without support, if they're trying to stop it, it could be deadly for them. And a lot of family members definitely who I was that family member before I started this field that I'm in. My father has been an addict since before I was born. And I always thought, as his child, why can't he just stop? Am I more important? And didn't realize that was slightly hurting his addiction more than it was, helping and supporting him. And that constant cycle will go over and over and over. You go to that third level, that last stage or part of the cycle of the preoccupation and anticipation. You're anticipating that if I do not do this, and you have it down to a science of whatever substance that you are intaking, you have it down to a science that if I don't do more meth or more cocaine within, I know it's at 3 hours I start feeling this, or 4.5 hours I start feeling that. You, as the addict, have it down to the window where if you don't have your next dose of your substance, you will start feeling the negative side effects. Potentially, then you start ruminating and you say, well, if I don't do it, then I'm going to end up feeling this. And then I'm going to end up having to go possibly to the hospital, which I'm not doing that because I'll just go and get some more. And they're just doing it to maintain that new normal balance within their brain. And the empowerment of physically feeling better over child, wife, husband, doing that to feel better, going through the support of, treatments, so on and so forth. Sometimes it's not, that one won't win, even though they want it to, because that's an immediate relief to feeling better. And then it just continues to keep going and going in a weird sense of things. Brain is something that's really, really amazing, but that can also, it's amazing that there is things out there that can alter your normal brain chemistry. And honestly, it can go on and on and on. Sometimes I've seen people when I was in a treatment nurse, some of our clients there would be a client that came in every single winter. And it wasn't ever, his mindset wasn't ever, this will be my last time. It was, well, seen you again this year. How we doing? And that's also another part of it. Supporting family or codependent parts of your family. That's kind of, we can talk about that at a different part of the podcast, but the brain is mysteriously, like, tricky to understand. And I always still learn things about addiction, and I've been in it for quite some time. So, I mean, it's definitely pretty scary. Needless to say, got a little deep right off the bat. And that's just the surface level of just, substance abuse and addiction. Mental health always pulls part that in there. They call co-occurring. Both your mental health and your addiction kind of play into each other. But yeah, it's definitely something that is scary. It's out there, and sadly, it's only getting worse in our um, in our world, not just the United States, nonetheless.
Yeah,
So,
addiction is definitely it's gonna be around forever. It's not something that's just gonna disappear. Addiction
hmm
is there's levels of it where it becomes an addiction. And
hmm
it's normally it comes down to coping with what they're going through on an everyday basis. I've seen it firsthand. I have a brother who's in therapy that graduates next month from it. I have seen military members use it as a coping mechanism when they discharge from the military. I've seen it on a regular basis, and you see it on the news, you see it in TV shows, movies, reality, and it's just a thing where you accept it, but you can always be that helping hand or voice to help those go through it. And when it gets to the point where you don't feel like you can live each day without your addiction, that's when you know medical help or just help in general is there for you to get better. And it's got to the point where a lot of people are addicted to alcohol, addicted to prescription drugs, illegal drugs, um,
hmm
eating certain things that are at a health risk because it's not healthy. But at the same time, you can overcome it, and sobriety is definitely a thing that could help. Like I have a lot of good friends who have been sober from whatever substance they were addicted to, and it's exciting because it's not just one thing, it could be anything. And
empowering.
a lot of times it's either alcohol or a substance slash drug that someone's addicted to that helps them cope so they can be normal. And it at the same time, it's like you can be addicted to a lot of things. And caffeine could be one where you're not a morning person, but if you don't have your shots of espresso in your coffee to make it through the day, that's just a way of how you can live your day and be coherent and tolerate anything that comes your way. If it's bullshit or just to be alert of your surroundings.
And that stems right to what I was saying. Your brain composition has changed because you feed it those 4 to 8 espresso shots every single morning. Your brain's gonna start having a different threshold for that. And that's, a lot of people say, "Oh, I got a caffeine headache." That's exactly right there. That word is your brain composition has changed for the threshold of having caffeine.
If you drink soda and the amount of sugars you intake, it could be anything, it could be candy. And the moment you start to transition from using so much each day, your body's going to change and it might not be comfortable. Like she said, a headache. It's the same thing. I remember when I gave up soda back in 2011 before I joined the military, those first like 30 to 90 days was brutal because I wasn't intaking the amount of sugar or caffeine every day, and I was drinking more water and more sugar-free drinks to stay
Compensate of
hydrated.
sorts. Mm-hmm.
And your body literally leaned on the sugar and the caffeine, and if it doesn't have it, it's got to look other places in the body to compensate for it. And it's sometimes it hurts, and you get to the point where you can't take it and you need something, But that's why you don't just go all cold turkey. You have to literally like lessen the amount of intake until to the point where you don't fight those headaches. And that's why it's always great to know someone that either went through something similar or someone that has the professional background where they have experience to help you get through it. And
Hmm.
that's the greatest thing because you're never alone when it comes to any of these battles. And it can be anything. And addiction is one of those topics where a lot of people have either seen it, faced it, or lived it.
Hmm.
And that's, you're never alone. You always got to remember that. And hell, it's just like the title says, I got your six. And that goes for everybody out there. You have someone that's willing to be there for you to help you through any type of mental, emotional, or physical battle to make it through those 24 hours for tomorrow. So,
Exactly. Exactly. And kind of on the other coin of things here, you have you there's medication supports out there for substance type sobrieties, and um there's a lot of people aren't aware. I know there's quite a few states that are actually changing it right now, but the reversal overdose kind of genie Narcan that's out there. I know there's over 20 states where it's citizen protected that you as a citizen, so Billy, you're currently not in any medical parts of you know your career and whatnot, but you in the state of Texas, you can be protected as a citizen to carry Narcan, to administer Narcan if you think someone you're walking and you see them, whatever, passed out unconscious, foaming at the mouth, whatever it may be.
seizures.
Yep, seizures. If you suspect that someone's in an overdose, you can have it on your person and you can administer that Narcan to them without any law. It's kind of a protected law that you can use it kind of like I can't think of the word, but um where you're protected from any charges to save that person, because Narcan, if it's given to someone who is so drunk off of alcohol and they're in that state, if they're not conscious, they're not going to be able to tell you. You use Narcan on them. Narcan only works on opioids. But if you give it to someone who's just so intoxicated off of alcohol, it's not going to harm them. It will not harm anything at all outside of the opioids. It reverses that opioid overdose within someone. So, I mean, it's out there for a lot of people. I'm actually a Narcan, certified Narcan trainer for our county, and I've trained all of our uh, police department, sheriff's department, our public health that's around here, our county, EMTs. I've helped them, train them to be able to carry it, and I myself carry it, because it's a real thing that's out there, and there is some stereotype things that go along with that, but think about anybody that you are close to, if they were possibly in that position, or you've known of people being in that position. Narcan is a hell of an angel in that aspect, because some people, without Narcan being within their vicinity or having it too late, they might not be here,
It's true.
and there's
Very true.
medications out there that you can maintain and take for weeks, months, years, from a provider that can help you with those cravings. There's tools that people have in their bags. In the addiction world, we call it tools. Um, you can there's pieces of your pie that these tools come from. Therapies, groups, um, peers, sponsors, providers, understanding family members. List can go on. um, that are all piece of your pie. That they all provide different tools for you. Um, and it's not one thing that's going to help someone stay in recovery, stay sober. it's a multitude of things all at once that some people forget. Um, that it's ongoing. Sometimes it's second by second if the days are bad, and other days it's I've had the best 6 months of my life. I haven't had a single craving or a whatever, a want or a need for it because I'm using all of the tools within my pie.
It's crazy that there's things like this in our world today, but it's 2023 and we have a better foundation to help those people that are fighting through these battles
Mm-hmm.
sometimes and most of the time alone. So it's
Yeah.
great that it helps to have social media, the news, like the internet, where you can go to ask questions and learn about what people battle every day to survive because they're still here. It gets to the
Mm-hmm.
point where addiction can affect your well-being, but a lot of people don't realize that it affects the people around them a lot more because they have to watch you struggle and battle the inner demons of addiction. And it doesn't always have to be when you talk about addiction, it's about a drug, it's about alcohol. It's literally anything that makes you crave and consume to live each day and survive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
it's just crazy to think about when people think it's a bad thing. Yes, it's not good, but it's a thing that's keeping this person around. And it sucks because they're struggling and this is how they cope. And then it gets to the point where addiction can get to the best of them, where it causes them to do things to harm themselves or harm others.
Yep.
And that's why it's always good to keep your eyes wide open, keep your mind open, but
Big one.
also like don't ever judge someone because they're fighting through it. Because you could have been in high school with this person, and they were the light of the show, the the hype of the party. And then years down the road, you see them struggling to make ends meet and they're addicted to something that helps them survive. But they don't have those people that are willing to help a stranger, a friend, a family member. And that's what sucks about it, is the fact that a lot of people just look away from it and just think that, well, sucks to suck. Well, it does suck, and that's how they're surviving and coping with it.
Yep.
And we live through it every day. So always keep your mind open, keep your eyes peeled, and have a bigger heart than letting your mind take over and saying something wrong
In
about
one
addiction.
yeah, in one way it's um to the person that is consuming or going through whatever their addiction is, tangible, untangible, that it is to some part no longer just the coping, that it's coping in the early stages is why someone does it. But once it becomes more of a problem, it's no longer the coping mechanism. The coping mechanism is partially the root of the cause that, people start using because blank. And then that because blank, the whole sentence of that being, I cope with the blank of whatever that example is. And now that's no longer the reason why I'm doing it. It's because of that coping mechanism of the root. The root of it is why it's now an issue. It's now no longer just a choice of sorts. Um, I know we haven't even touched on the topic, but while you were talking about different addictions, I actually just had a client come in just this last week that I've known since I started at the clinic that I've been at for 2.5 years. um, just finally came forward. And she was coming to the clinic prior to. She has mental health issues, schizophrenia, so on and so forth. And just last week came into the office out of nowhere and asked to speak to me. I sat down with her in an open room, and she came and she said, I had to come and tell you something. And I said, what was that? And she goes, I am highly addicted to sex. I said, okay. She confided in me because she was scared for herself that she was out of control with something in her life that she was addicted to. And if you think about it in a weird term of support systems and trusting, this woman has a lot of people within her family that are always there for her. She didn't go to any one of those people. Sometimes you don't know that you're that person's safe space until you are hit with something of that multitude. And if they come to you with something of that multitude, that intensity, and you're not having an open mind, like Billy says, it's going to be a little shell shocking. But if you're there, and you don't always have to have the answer to be a support system either.
Nope.
Sometimes it's all it is you don't have to ask why. Why'd you do it then? Why are you doing it? Because that makes it harder for the person, because sometimes they don't know why anymore. It's holy shit. I had no idea, but I'm glad you told me. That's what they want. They want to feel supported. I'm glad you told me. I want to be here for you.
And it's more of a shell shock when someone you hold close to, or someone personal to you, or someone you least expected for them to talk to you, or tell you that they're addicted to something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're starstruck because you didn't expect it, but at the same time, it's like, how did you miss all the signs? How did you not know this when you spend quality time hanging out, gaming, Discord, real life situations, touching grass, hanging out somewhere, and not realizing behind closed doors the battles that people face of the levels of addiction that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you could be addicted to sex. You could be addicted to pretty much anything because that is your coping mechanism to survive. But at the same time, every level of subject that you're addicted to can have its downfalls and consequences from it. It can cause your health to decline. It can cause your mental health to decline. It can cause you your actions will be louder than your words.
Yeah.
Not per se like for example, she said that person was addicted to sex, and people would be like, they would instantly think negative and be like, what's wrong with that? And I'm like, yeah, you can think that way, but at the same time, is like when you're addicted, is you could put yourself in a situation where it could cause not just harm to yourself, but harm to others. Let's per se, like you were having a craving and you were to go home with someone, and the next day you discovered that you contracted a STD.
Mm-hmm.
Not per se anyone that's not addicted to sex doesn't go through the same loopholes, but at the same time, it's at a level where it can cause you harm and affect your surroundings. Same thing with any type of drug or caffeine, or you're addicted to sleep. So like, yeah, you sleep a lot, but at the same time, your body's not going to be at a healthy state if you sleep all the time. It's
It's going to
all,
create an
yeah,
altered normal.
it's all about how your body copes and survives each day when it comes to these things. And not everyone's living that freaking healthy lifestyle and trying to have the best body to survive, because a lot of people don't have the time for that. You got people that work, you got people that have kids, you got people that have extracurricular activities that make them survive and contend and live their life to their fulfillment. So
Mm-hmm.
it just it's crazy when the negativity takes more of an impact than the positivity of helping others. Because a lot of people just like, oh, my experiences of that were not good, so I don't want to help this person. But if you keep an open mind and an open heart and your eyes open, you could change someone's life just by being that one person that's helping someone fight the battles of addiction.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I've noticed that there is um a lack of support is in a weird way someone having a lack of knowledge that comes with it. Oh, I have no idea what the hell goes on when they aren't doing that. Back away. Um, and it's definitely tough. There's so many resources out there to help people with whatever they are attached to, addicted to. Yes, of course, just like you can go say, I have this, I have that, I have this. What is my diagnosis? And Google's always going to tell you you're going to die. Guaranteed,
Yeah, if you don't
you
change your
know?
ways, you're gonna die. And it's
Yes,
like, oh, that's
there's,
reassurance. Like,
yeah,
thank you for helping me out here instead of
yes.
finding different paths or forks in the road to decide what to do next. No, everyone's gonna die. That's just the circle of life. It just
Mm-hmm.
depends on how, if you do it naturally or if you do it wrong willingly.
Well,
So
correct.
no matter what, we don't live forever. You can live a very long life, but it's up to you how you live it and how you can live that long by all your decisions.
Right? There's things outside of our control. Everybody knows that because everybody wants to be in control with their life, things that happen to them, things that they do, the outcomes that of the things that they do. Um, but that isn't necessarily, you don't know when your time is on that topic. You have no idea when your time is. But now we're getting deep and dark. We don't need to just keep it dark here. We just going back to, how are the bears? But but
But
it definitely scary that's out there, from substances or to sex or to nicotine. There's a lot within
you can literally be
between.
addicted to anything, but
Hmm.
it's how your body reacts where it becomes an addiction. So let's hear from someone in chat that either has seen, doesn't have to be like someone personal or yourself. Let's hear from someone in chat that a type of addiction that you've seen firsthand that you want to talk about. Because there's all different things. And we've literally covered different aspects and different topics of addiction. And it's not just a small variety, it can be anything. It's like a box of crayons. And I'm not talking about
Right?
the small box of 12, I'm talking about the big box of
The one you bend
126 or the
chemicals for.
248, the biggest one Crayola makes. Don't ask me how I know this. I'm not a Marine. So let's hear from someone in chat that's seen firsthand what addiction you've seen. My
Addicted to
MIL
cleaning.
is addicted to cleaning. Yeah, when I'm dirty, like getting home from work, haven't showered yet, I get addicted to that. If I see something that needs to be cleaned up, organized, but I wouldn't say it's addiction for me because it's not consistency. I was an alcoholic for till 2 years ago. See, that's another one as well, alcohol. And it's not
Hmm.
just anything. It gets to the point where you're leaning on hard liquor over beer. Like anyone can just love beer, but liquor can change how, like there's certain liquors I don't touch anymore because it brings out the Billy Badass that a lot of people haven't seen, and I like it that way. No, I mean
Mhm.
cleaning the house 10 hours a day every day. Jesus. Now
Yeah.
are you doing that, Silverbeard, because you want it clean, or are you doing that because you clean? Oh, here comes all the
Oh,
resubs.
mother,
These are just all the
mother-in-law.
resubs. Oh, the mother-in-law. Oh, the
Yep.
mother-in-law. I see MIL. I was like, bro, you forgot K.
Oh my gosh, we're not talking about milk here, milk. Oh my god.
I just realized my shout out is kind of blurred
Yeah.
out, so you say thank you instead of thank you. So, buddy,
Oh.
glad you made it for a bit of a podcast. Love you, buddy. Appreciate you being here. My mother-in-law does it. Yeah, I'm a clean freak, but I have been more laid back about it. Like I still clean, but just not as consistent. Like my mom would yell at me if she saw how my area is, but that I don't have to worry about once I throw out a lot of things and clean up everything. So we won't talk about cleanliness because I'm a clean freak, but if you walked in here, you would think I'm not. So
It's
anyway,
organized
collecting
chaos.
stuff. Collecting stuff. Okay, man. What type of things would you that someone would collect that they're addicted to, where they need to have that item? Oh, guys, I'm super OCD here. Hey, there's nothing wrong being OCD. There's definitely nothing wrong with that.
There is though the aspect. I
Beanie
think I'm
Babies. Oh my
frozen.
God, that was
Am I frozen on Discord?
no.
Okay. I'm frozen on your stream. Now I'm not. Um,
You just
I'm
stayed
new here.
there.
Collecting stuff, when Manic, when you say collecting stuff, my brain goes to hoarding.
She said hoarding, not horny.
Hoarding, D dog. Dog. Yes. That's another big boat.
Books, magazine, electronics. I used
Mm-hmm.
to, like, when I was little, I was addicted to collecting Pokemon cards, like most people, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I started if I grasp it and focus on something, I would do the same thing, but I really haven't been. I used to be addicted to pens, where if I saw a pen I liked, I would grab it. And I used to have probably drawers filled of all types of pens, and I'm glad I'm not like that anymore. And
I have a I have a severe, didn't mean to step over you, but up until a couple years ago, and I kid you not, I would say it's somewhat of an addiction. I thought it was just a dopamine feed. But then I realized that hundreds of dollars were spent in 1 month
on Harry Potter.
on no, 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 close. I mean, I have not got there yet in my life. I probably will at one point. But no, buying the prettiest, coolest water bottle.
Okay.
If you take the double doored cabinets that you usually put your plates in and whatever else, I'd put them in sideways so they're sitting not like this in a shelf, they're sitting like this in a shelf. And they would be full. Like I'd have to take the shelves out and it would be completely full. And yeah, I realized that I was addicted to feeding my outrageous dopamine in that. That fed my dopamine. There's women who have closets full of purses, or there's shoe addictions, buying that. Starbucks cups, yes. But no, I don't have any Starbucks cups.
I met someone. last year, and a lot of people know all types of crazy stories I've had with this person. But the crazy chick that I was per se that has the Godzilla strap-on penis thing, she had an addiction of collecting dildos. And it was alarming to say the least until you walked in closet and saw like the shoe rack of these dildos. And it's one
A
thing to have
shoe rack.
it's a one thing to have a drawer of a few toys that help you get that feeling. But it's another thing to have a hanging rack or a stand that literally holds these monstrosities sizes of toys per se. And not saying it's alarming, but at the same time, it's kind of nerve-wracking to be like, I gotta compete with this. Because the
Yeah.
giant horse cock weighs 11 pounds. So yeah,
Oh,
there's
Lord.
there's a, there's a topic there at hand.
Yeah. Nonetheless, and
So,
it was hanging.
yeah, they were hanging.
Yep. They
I'm
were.
just
They were.
glad they weren't in me.
At least that's what he's saying on stream.
Uh, if I had a Bible, I'd raise my right hand right now and tell you that didn't
Nerp.
happen.
No, I mean anything, any part of the levels, the spectrum that is addiction. There is light parts to it, and there's very dark parts to it. You know, um, nonetheless, though, it's real. It's out there. Some of that is scary. On the addict side, and just as much as the supporting side. It's usually a lack of knowledge from someone to be willing to help another.
Exactly.
And that's not a bad thing that you don't have that knowledge at all. It's an opening of opportunity to, if you really want to help that person, support that person, go through it, understand it, what they're going through, what your part is potentially in the support to get that person to be healthier or make that change in their life that they want to. They might be begging for your help on it. There is resources out there 100% that you can go and find and gain knowledge of. Uh Pretty much anything medical wise, you can go out to the CDC. You search the right parts in the CDC. They definitely have the supports out there for both sides of said thing. Um, Addiction and substances. There is so many different websites out there. Um, Organizations. There is some that are way nonprofit, way small that have swayed biased opinion on how to support. Um, but there is 1,000% resources that are out there for both sides of that addiction.
This is true. Facts speak for
Hmm.
themselves.
Exactly. But then there's also the right Google search, and you'll find something you don't want to follow. So don't always go for that.
And a lot of people that are battling these type of things is the fact that they really don't know who to turn to or who to talk to about it. Because at the same time, it's not just all those ways of talking to people, it's the fact that a lot of people see it as a negative thing where they'll be judged if
Hmm.
they brought up that topic with someone. But no one will judge you if they truly care and realize that you're seeking help. But at the same time, they also got to look at it as those that talk to you, they're not really trying to seek attention, but seek refuge on trying to survive and get better, because everyone has dreams, everyone has goals that they want to fulfill, and the sole fact of when people have the courage to reach out to people, it feels good for them knowing that they have that coping mechanism, that foundation of people that will be there for them when the time's right. Because you may not be ready today, you may be not ready tomorrow, but when the time comes when you're ready to go down the journey of recovery, you'll have those people or those ways, Google or medical procedures, where they're there. They're there for you for a reason. So
Yeah,
never forget that.
exactly. Exactly. It's mind-boggling as someone who wants to support an individual who's come to you. It's mind-boggling, and you go, I don't know how to support you. I don't know how to be there. I was in a training on Friday. So pissed that I had to go in on my day off. I hate it. Hate it. But glad I did. There was a thing that someone had said, and it kind of stuck with me a little bit. Sometimes when someone comes to you, it is not support on fix me, it's support on hear me.
Hear me now.
Exactly. Can you hear me now? A lot of people like in high school, a lot of people would come to me for, I've had this, my boyfriend, girlfriend, what do I do? Blah, 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 blah. And my mindset was always, I can fix that. I can help you with that. I can be the one to make it better for you. And it's a lot for, let's say me, it's a lot for me to try to be the one person to fix that other person's problem. And changing your own mindset to supporting someone in a fashion of hearing them out and being there, not necessarily to be the one to fix it and make it better. It's a lot less energy having to come from you if you're not going to be the fixer. You're going to be the one to be support.
It's it's good to have a voice. It's good to be able to help others, and just thinking
Oh,
with a open mind and not letting
same.
people feel in alone,
Mm-hmm.
because
It's the
you
biggest
don't
reason
know.
why people don't talk about it is because
Yep,
they feel alone.
you really don't know who is battling anything, because I always bring it up, and I've done it since Robin Williams is no longer with us, is the Robin Williams effect. Someone could be smiling and enjoying themselves, and you would never expect someone to be coping or going through their battles, and they could be addicted to something. They could be doing something we didn't know that helps them cope and live on each life. But you got to realize that you have to be a better person and have an open arms, not was just physically, but in your heart as well, because you could change someone's life and their future just by being there for them, because
Mm-hmm.
it means probably more to them than you'll ever know or experience. And yeah,
Exactly.
depression, alcohol, addiction, um, there's so many things that people use in today's world that helps them survive and cope with things. They could have dealt with like a death in the family where that was their only lean-to person, and now they don't have that person to lean on unless they're out looking up at the sky and hoping that they're hearing their wishes. Having a
Mm-hmm.
buddy in the sugar bin has helped with the depression and loneliness. I know you, buddy. So it's crazy to believe, but that's how today's day and age, that's how life is in general, because there will always be different levels of addiction. There will always be talks of addiction. There will always be groups for addiction. And it doesn't have to be just one or two types of things, alcohol and drugs. It can literally be anything. And you'd be
Hmm.
surprised if you sat down in an AA meeting or an addiction meeting and hear other people's stories of what they're addicted to. And it all depends on how you take it when someone opens up and explains what they're battling. No one's alone. No one's ever
None.
alone.
I did have a client when I was working at an inpatient treatment facility. A lot of people that are you take 26 guys and you stuff them in a home. Most of them have alcohol or, um, you know, substance of any passion, addiction. A lot of them don't sleep. So, of course, when I'd work overnights, I'd get a lot of information about a lot of their lives because I'm the only one that's there throughout the whole night. And throughout that, I was working at that facility for 3 years. I want to say somewhere in there, 100%.
Son?
There, it made me realize, I like to be the person that kind of big pictures things. We're always in the heat of the moment, but sometimes I like to hover over what's going on with me, with the people that are, in my life. And if I look at bigger pictures, I may think that I'm alone in my specific experience that I'm afraid of sharing. But there could be that topic, whatever it is, that is one of my dark demons. There's 100%, at least one more person in this world that potentially has almost 60% shares that with you. Not down to the detail, but if you really think about it, there is someone else out there that experienced something that you think you're the only person. It's just different details within that experience. Exactly,
Exactly.
Emmy.
Till I open up to realize I'm not one. And that's the thing too, because I used to be the type of person where I wouldn't really talk to people about a lot of things because not only were I not comfortable or felt safe about talking about it, I was that type of person where I felt I was going to be judged by just
Appeared
opening
as
my
weak.
mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and weak. Like even on the last podcast that I had, and I don't recall, I didn't rewatch the whole podcast, but my mom doesn't even know my deepest, darkest secret.
Yep.
But yet my close friends and I hold to as family know about it. Because I
Mm-hmm.
really do not, to this day, want to know what my mom would think if I told her that story.
Mm-hmm.
It just it
And a hundred
it
percent, I have you.
terrifies me.
I have exactly. There are things that you're gonna hold the boulder in your throat, and that's harder to hold it there and say, "I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can say it." Than it. Th- Truthfully, Billy, it's harder to hold it here than it is to say it. I'm just gonna tell you, it's harder to have it right here than it is to spit it out and
I don't
to
know.
have it for it.
My
I
my ex didn't have
I
that problem.
Uh, I'm just saying because I have the same thing, not the same exact thing of the what you're not telling your mom about, but um kind of within that vicinity um of not sharing because thinking that I
Well,
might end up
yeah,
being
yeah. I never told my mom that I knocked up somebody. So
mm,
the fact that I want kids, but in the right situation, not a one night stand and a walk of shame, but the
and then an
sole
ultimatum.
in an ultimatum, I do not want my mom to not only freak out, but yell at me. I know she will never stop loving me. Hello, like I'm God's son to my mom. So at the same time, it's just you really affects you on how people see you, not just by visual, but also how they judge you. And a lot of people say they don't care, but deep down in their head, they do. Everyone cares. You can act like it, say you don't, but deep down, you do care. And I'm not saying strangers, I'm just talking about people you hold close to. That could be
Yep.
siblings, parents, blood relatives, best friends that you've gone to battle with, and people you've met, because that's how you cope with things. So,
100%. 100%.
it's crazy. It's crazy the life we live, the battles we face, the obstacles we have to overcome to survive in today's day and age.
Mm-hmm. Totally spinning in a different direction, but do you remember when children just a way of society and the great weird changes that it's come to. Children used to not have to be buckled in and strapped in 40% of what they are now.
Yeah,
Totally spiraling in a different way, but my mom was like, "Yeah, you used to just put this thing over you and you clip it in the button right on the bottom. Nothing was over you, kind of like a damn high chair." And now kids are in 5-point harnesses and making sure it's in the right position and all this and that.
it is crazy, buddy, how open, and not everyone's open about it, but it's the
That is
fact
true.
that people that have a voice that want to be a difference to get the word out there that people aren't alone.
Yep.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it with pasta. I can eat pasta all day.
Oh yes.
That's why I can't wait to.
Pasta.
I haven't seen my mom in 2 years, and I already told her a list of food. I didn't say like every single day, but if I'm going to be home for a while, this is what I want:
There
gnocchi,
you go.
polenta, angel hair pasta,
Carbs.
spaghetti.
Carbs.
I don't care. Give me all the
Carbs.
carbs.
Not gonna lie, my mom makes some pretty damn good carb dishes.
What's gnocchi? That's gnocchi. And polenta? See, Stax knows what a gnocchi is. Look, buddy, type that gnocchi and polenta up. Well, be careful, because if you type polenta wrong, it's gonna give
Tell
you.
you a placenta.
Yeah. Yeah. Gnocchi, it could be either potato or egg, and yeah, placenta.
Exactly. Take out the C.
It's gnocchi's not a soup. I love how you spell it yaki. Hey, can I get some of
Gnocchi.
that yaki? I want that yaki.
Gnocchi. Like, is that eggs?
Yeah, Olive Garden is not like you have to go to an authentic Italian restaurant to have
That
the
is
good
very true.
stuff. Trader Joe's has a good gnocchi meal and it only takes 6 minutes to cook. Now, my mom's potato gnocchi takes a while, but it's so good. But you regret after you eat it because you feel like you have like a 20-pound weight in your stomach and you're so full. Egg gnocchi takes forever because it's more of a shell than just handmade.
Hmm.
You just don't know any better. We forgive you. Olive Garden is good, especially their breadsticks.
Not gonna
SP
doubt
is
that.
worth it though, right? I just love Italian food, and I can't wait to be eating it at my mom's house here in a month. Pretty much
Uh,
a month from now. I got
yeah.
less than a month of work, and then I'll be completely happy going north.
North. You're gonna be closer to Nurse Jackie. I can drive instead of
What,
fly.
Missy? I love you, beautiful.
Yes. What's up,
So,
Ness?
yes, addiction is never a singular battle with one person. If you let it to be, it will be. What up, Killzone? I come into a good combo. Yes, you did, because I'm full.
The food.
I had Chili's DoorDash to me uh,
Imagine that.
before podcast, so I'm full. I'm just thirsty now, but I'm not gonna get up until it's the end of the podcast. But yes, food is an addiction that if you put it that way, like I'm addicted to breakfast food and sushi. And I am not afraid to say such a thing because I love it that much. Hell, I was so addicted to it after deployment, I spent $1,000 within the first month of being back just on sushi. Tacos, yes, tacos are good
Tacos,
too.
yes, Panic. Oh,
And
yum.
tacos can be all different kinds. And Texas can tell you it's you can get some crazy kind of tacos in this state. If it would last a 13-hour plane ride with me. Chips, I'm addicted to chips. What kind of chips though? You can't just say chips because there's so many different kinds.
Potato chips, cheddar chips, poker chips. All parts of the spectrum.
Okay, poker chips you can't eat.
Hey, you know what? In addiction terms, there's food and there's not food addictions, right?
I
Can we
see.
just spend an hour on that?
I see how you know that was good. That was good. That went over my head.
Huh?
Potato
Uh,
chips, poker chips, cheddar chips. I was like, wait, you can't eat poker
Wait,
chips,
hold
but
up.
you can be addicted to gambling.
The
Technically,
plane
you can
circled
eat
back.
them, but you should. That's true stats. I guess potato chips and poker chips. I mean, I'm addicted to poker chips, but I do know when to stop when I'm ahead. Because Midwest Fest, I went to the casino and I won some money. So Pringles are awful. Well, I like Pringles if they're flavored. I can't eat plain chips. I just feel like I'm just giving myself cotton mouth.
I like to do Pringles and make the duck bill.
Yeah,
That's what I do with Pringles. I don't really eat them. I just put them opposite of each other so I can have that weird potato
I
chip
know at a
mouth.
young age I was addicted to Jolly Ranchers.
Oh, I was addicted to putting them in the microwave and melting them, and then you put straw on the plate, and then you blow it, and it makes like a Jolly Rancher bubble.
I was addicted by putting one up in my upper lip, one in my bottom lip, and talking with
And
them.
that's where chewing first started, and you had no idea.
Doritos, not yo cheese. Ooh.
Ooh.
I love the sweet and spicy chili Doritos, I think they are. Those are good. Doritos has come out with a lot of crazy flavors,
Disgusting, some of them, nonetheless.
but nothing will ever beat Cool Ranch. Fight me
Oh,
on it.
I'm gonna fight you on that.
Yeah, sweet chili heat, flaming
Yeah, it's
hot
like, yeah.
Cheetos. Hey, Cheetos are good. I like the jalapeno Cheetos.
Mm,
Fritos, now if they're in a Fritos chili bowl, yes. Plain Fritos, no. But the
Fritos chili bowl? Where's that from?
New Mexico,
Oh.
you take a bag of Fritos, you put chili in it, and you cover with shredded cheese and sour cream if you like it, and you eat it out of the bag.
See, I was thinking from that name that it was gonna be like spicy.
It can be. It's your choosing, though.
Yeah, well, I do not do anything over pepper, so.
Yeah, I love spicy, but my rectum does not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nothing defeats you when sitting on the throne and holding your head up, questioning your life on why you did this to yourself.
It burns.
I do too, but my ulcer says, spicy rectum is definitely no bueno. When it's literally liquid lava and you're screaming, it sucks. If you eat plain Fritos, you suck on toes. They smell like feet.
God kill zone.
He's not wrong. I can't
They do
stand
kind of
eating
smell
a corn chip or any type of chip that's just plain. I need flavor. I'm all about the flavor, the seasoning.
barbecue Fritos. Yes, Crip.
Yeah, barbecue Fritos. I hate toes, but I love Fritos.
Uh,
I mean, I'm not into feet. Like, I'll massage your feet if you're into it, but I ain't sucking on no damn toes. I've seen the places people walk. And then, those country girls like walking outside in those cow pies, bare
oh
feet.
my God. You say that to the person who literally lives where there's cows and crops. Okay. Wrong podcast to say that about.
She's walking through cornfields like, yeah, I'm gonna go put shoes on.
Oh, Billy.
Want to see my mouse tool? Don't smell like smelly feet, but my breath might. Oh God. Oh man. Yeah,
You
chips
know,
chips
yeah.
are great.
Uh-huh.
Especially Tostinos where you can like dip them in salsa and I like my salsa chunky. I don't like that watery stuff. Like if you want it water, give me something that's gonna absorb it. But I like that chunky. I like my women like my salsa chunky and spicy. Just saying.
Spicy.
Why is this so spicy?
Why is it spicy?
Yeah, I like them thick,
Yuck.
even though Recent X was definitely not.
Not wrong. Living and
Oh,
learning.
last week's podcast was a winner. Definitely a
It was
winner.
definitely. Uh-huh.
It was a dub, just
It
like
was.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Are you a Moto?
Moto. Madagascar.
So we got more people in chat. What are different levels of addiction or different things that you've seen people addicted to survive and live their lives? We got chips, we got food, we got sex, we got drugs, we got alcohol. What's some different ones that you could be addicted to that would be considered an addiction? I like them round with something something. Facts, stacks, facts. Come on, chat. Let's spice it up. Addiction is a wide variety of things.
Mm-hmm.
Wide variety.
Or maybe, there's bringing in chat too that questions you might have if you're trying to help support someone.
I mean, I grew up with my mom being a junkie, so I've seen it all firsthand. She wasn't sober until I was in my mid-20s. And speaking of that, because we were talking about the topic earlier, there's a song written and sang by NF where his mom was addicted to drugs and she chose drugs over her kids and she's no longer with him. It is a thing that people don't realize. People that are fighting through addiction that have kids, that literally kids see everything. They might not act or say anything from it, but they always remember. And down the road, when they feel like they're comfortable with talking to their parent about it, they have that talk with their parents. I'm addicted to massages and sleep. Yeah, massages are great. I actually need one of those. And being a man, I don't have to worry about it leading up to something because I'm on my stomach. Just saying. I haven't been around to too many of with addictions, but one person passed away in my arms. She would huff canned air. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
huffers are definitely a big one. That's why when you go to Ace, Home Depot, and Lowe's, that spray paint and anything that's aerosol cans are locked up, and you need someone to unlock it for you and walk you to a cash register so that way you actually
Mm-hmm.
buy it and not huff it in store.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sorry about your loss, Stacks. That's definitely tough.
broke my heart. Yeah, I've held quite a few people that took their last breath in my arms, and it's definitely life's changing. It definitely wakes you up from the darknesses that you may face in the future and the ones you've already faced.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a thing when you see it firsthand, or if you're like me, where you've come to a scene as a cop and seen someone overdose or take something and run out in the middle of a street and get hit by a car, or the thing that was back in the, not really that back in the day, but in recent years, bath salts that people were addicted to and supposedly turned them into zombies. Um, yeah, that video will never exit my mind if I ever think about it. It's all good. I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. She's much better and healthier now hanging out with the angels. Exactly. Exactly. is definitely eye-opening to see it firsthand than to actually be around people that talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You're never alone. And always remember, we got your six. I'm glad
And
you're
fish
okay.
are friends, not
Not
food.
food. I mean, fish can be friends if they're pets, but they can also be food because I was craving catfish today. But I wasn't gonna
Oh.
spend the 25 fucking dollars to get it delivered to me.
Yeah, nope. That's a
So one
nope.
thing I can't wait. I hope Green Bay area's got a better variety of DoorDash places. Or fuck it, I'll have a vehicle by then, so I'll just go drive and pick it up
Look at
myself.
that. Look at that. Yes.
Only fish I like is on sushi. I like all fish. Sashimi, raw, grilled, smoked, cooked,
No.
baked. I don't think there's fish. Now, raw fish can only can take in proportions. So I'm not saying you're going to see me fillet a fish and just eat it like that. No, it has to be prepped. The only raw fish I eat is at sushi restaurants because it's prepped and stored correctly. And I'm not going to have to worry about getting something by just eating a. Now, don't get me wrong, I have bit into a fish, and I definitely spit it out. Green Bay only has fondue restaurants. Hey, I'm all about it. Old man Spec, what up, baby? Um, hey, I'm down for it. It's been a long time since I've been back in Green Bay, but one restaurant I can't wait to go back to is Curly's Pub. Best
Ooh.
freaking grilled cheeseburger I've ever had in my life. Ain't
Grilled
shit.
cheeseburger. Ooh.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's at the Packer Stadium. Go Pack, go.
Ah, next to my state. Shit on Packers. No.
Yeah, you purple fucking lovers. Start calling Minnesota a bunch of fucking Barneys.
Hey, I loved Barney. You shush.
Hey, I was Billy Bob because Barney liked touching kids.
Well,
Curly's is
but not
not closed. It's at the stadium. It's not closed. Don't tell me it was replaced with 19. Wait, what?
Ooh.
I'm about to look that up now. I'm about to look that if
Ooh.
Curly's is closed. I just
You're
Googled
not
it.
moving.
Well, I'm still moving. I'm just gonna freaking boycott the front of the stadium with signs. Bring back Curly's. This took an interesting turn.
It did. It usually at the tail ends of all podcasts, we just
Yeah,
do this.
this is normally how it partakes, but it
How it kind
also
of
keeps the
goes.
podcasts at a certain because they used to be long ones.
Mm,
1919 Kitchen and Tap in the success. They better have that grilled cheeseburger. I swear to fucking God, I'll lose my shit.
Rob's not.
Thanks for busting my bubble stacks. It's okay. That's not the reason I'm moving to Green Bay, but gotta be excited about it. My sister better have all the sushi spots picked out. And if any of them are not up to my partake, I'm gonna be very upset. Because it is true. I forgot you said. Amen to that. It is true. The further away you are from water, salt water, not fresh water, the harder it is to find good sushi. You better post pic. Oh, of course. I always post pic of my sushi. I
Hey,
haven't found a good sushi spot in Dallas, but there's a couple good spots down in Houston. So what is everyone else getting into tonight? What is everyone excited about this weekend? It's the last weekend of July. We're going
holy
into the
crap, it is.
last quarter of 2023. So
Yeah.
it's crazy to believe. I live in Seattle, so sushi is like Starbucks everywhere. Exactly. I love Seattle. Never been there yet, but it's on the list. John, what are you doing? Popping in here all hibbly bibbly like the one we took you to yeah, Raw in Houston was definitely good. And it's spelled R-A. Don't think it's R-A-W where it's raw, because that shit was fire. Spent like
It's
80.
RA, the
Yep.
sushi spot.
Oh yeah. You have to walk up these tall ass stairs or take the elevator if you're lazy. I'm in the tow truck
Mm.
again, so just hanging out. Damn, in the tow truck at 9:25 at night? The hell?
Oh my goodness.
Do you know Seattle Grace Hospital from Grace? Oh my God, Nibby. She's addicted to Grace. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. I'm at home now, but oh, you're on call? Oh, I know that feeling. I have one more week of on call until I'm done. It's gonna be weird when I
Ooh.
don't see the HVAC truck in my driveway anymore, but it'll be even better when I have a vehicle of my own sitting in my driveway. Do what the fuck
Mm-hmm.
I want. Don't have to worry about this stupid work phone. Oh shit. That's the first time I looked at it today.
Nothing. All right, Crip, you got the Jeep back, so you pampered it, washed her all up. Sensual after being in the shop
Um,
for 2 weeks.
isn't
What in the
Crowley up here? It is up
what
here.
in the heck is what was up with it, Crip?
Rest in peace, Seattle Grace. Nothing really fun. So pampered it, washed it. Oh, yeah, I forget what went wrong with his Jeep. But at least it's back and it's up to go until the next time.
You sensually brought it back to life.
Just need a radiator replacement, but living in a small town, they were booked full. Jesus.
I get
Hey, that's
that.
that's a good song, by the way. I haven't really listened to it fully, but I've been seeing a lot of TikToks and videos of people hating on it.
Hating on what?
Jason Aldean in a small town.
Oh, I see. I see.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't sleep my day away, but I definitely slept in today. I literally was in a coma from because I was up till almost 5 this morning, and I slept till about 3 this afternoon, and I didn't want to spend
Lucky
six
duck.
hundred.
Lucky
Well,
duck.
you had choices there, miss.
I did have choices, and I chose to finally go to bed at 6. Slept for 6 hours. Woke up at like 12.
And then you took
And then I
another
took
nap.
another nap because my body is not on point with this
Nibby,
party
you have a
temper.
job now. You have to an adult. We know you love sleep,
Yes.
but you're also a night owl like us too. And Nimi's looking for more friends to play COD with her since everyone's has transitioned to Farlight.
Oh no.
Hey, adulting, it sucks, but a lot of times it can be fun. Hey, as long as you love your job. I used to love my job. Not so
Doesn't
much
do too much
anymore.
longer though.
Nope. Wait till you have kids, you'll never get sleep in again. I mean, I wouldn't worry about that. I run off 4 to 5 hours of sleep a day anyways, and then I waste my weekends by catching up on the sleep that I missed.
You do have a weird sleep schedule, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, 'cause I could be in bed before midnight, and I could be in bed and asleep before 1, but 9 times out of 10, I'm either chilling in Discord or watching TikToks, and then it's 2 o'clock, and then I pass out and wake up at 6:30, and I'm like, fuck, here's the day again.
Mm-mm-mm.
So, all right, we're gonna be chilling. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up episode 8 of I Got Your Six podcast, hosted by yours truly on addiction with the amazing Nurse Jackie. Appreciate all the love. I think I'm going to still stay live, but change everything up. But I'm going to stop the recording so I can post it on the YouTube channel. So it was another big W of a podcast. The next one is if Crixus is available. It's about health and fitness and stuff like that. So appreciate all the loves and the vibes and everything. We've been keeping it down to an hour and a half, and normally after like an hour and 20 minutes, we start to venture out a topic and talk about things, but we still kept it around being addicted. So
Night, Manic.
appreciate you, Manic. I'm gonna stay live. I'm probably gonna see what everyone else is up to. We'll see, but big W podcast and appreciate you guys. But tune in the next time on the next episode of I Got Your Six. Much love, everybody.